So closed out last year, overall profitable on the year. 4 green months in a row, finished with a bit of a bang compared to previous months. Profitable 2,500 on December. And then this year, within one day, I took a record loss of $1,900 on one trade. $1,700 down so far. Like, what the fuck do I do next? How is this problem solved? Watch to find out. Tough market to play What's up, Jonk does PennyStocking, and the answer is to go back to the basics. Basically, I got a little bit lost in getting cocky, winning a lot, finding my own intricacies and strategies. But sometimes when you're so focused on the road ahead, you can kind of miss your blind spots and your blind sides. And then all of a sudden, with too much arrogance, a big loss is just around the corner. So this episode is all about going back to the basics, and no one has taught me about the basics better than Mark Crook. Mark Crook, in this selection of the webinar alone, which is what Tim Sykes Challenge students get, in this alone, he covers major basic lessons like only shorten the first red days on certain overextended stocks by looking to follow sector momentum. I love the trade on LINU where he was right, but he cut his loss because he didn't want to take a big loss. He didn't want it to get away from him. So great lessons. Mark Crook is very good for going back to basics. I'll be watching a lot more of his webinars now while I reduce my trade size and grind back to 1700 with the end goal of getting green on the month for a fifth straight green month. Enjoy the show. This is LINU. This is the example of cutting a loss.
Perfect example of why this market is absolutely incredible. This was a big runner. I screwed it up big time, and I'm pretty upset. I was buying this in the 260s. It's now in the 320s, and I got faked out. It hit 275 from my 260, and then it just went straight back down to 260. And sometimes that happens. And even though I was buying at 1 p.m. Eastern, you still have some fake outs sometimes, and that is just part of the game. And I could easily have gotten back in the 270s if I wanted, but decided not to. Pretty choppy chart, but this is the kind of setup that has been working time and time again. You have the morning spike. Sykes bought it earlier in the morning, nailed it, absolutely nailed it. One of his, fantastic alerts. And then it had the big pullback, sideways price action, held the 250 area pretty much all day. And that's why I started buying at 260, but I should have been more patient. I sometimes, you expect a move to happen pretty quickly within a certain time period, and I was wrong. And now it's really squeezing to high a day, and this is not where I would ever be buying after the stock's broken out. 50 cents, even more, 80 cents. A share off of the consolidation zone. And this is a 30% winner off the consolidation. So this is a perfect example of the type of play that you want to be buying into the afternoon when the stock has proven itself. So many incredibly hot plays. The one that Tim was dip buying this morning dropped from $1.60 down to 90 cents. And that was a pretty decent, low volume, not very liquid, but nice bounce play to the tune of about 30%, 30% bounce off the bottom. So if you were buying it anywhere in the 95 to dollar range, fantastic play there. So many solid opportunities in this crazy market. Bitcoin starting to fade off a bit. I'm thinking about shorting RIOT.
Yeah, and we'll leave it at that. The classic dip buy pattern, the pattern on LINU, which has been working super solid for Roland. I was actually in LINU as well and got faked out. It's funny. And following sector momentum. You saw the long I did on right when Bitcoin was bouncing. It's actually bouncing again now. Okay, so this is a funny song because it's about someone breaking up, like a relationship ending. But whenever I think of a relationship ending, I think of someone being laid back. And since it's the end of the year, it's important for us to lay ourselves back. And this is probably the most honest and serious I'll be with you guys. And it's probably should be on the other series, but I'll put it on this one because it's just how I feel and it's raw. It's New Year, so you put everything on the table. And you rebuild yourself after you strip yourself bare. After you get profitable, you get cocky, you get running, you fall over. Once you fall over, you need to strip yourself bare and rebuild and think, well, what characteristics and traits do I want as a trader and as a person? Do I want the cockiness? No. Throw it to the left. Do I want the arrogance? No. Throw it to the left. Do I want the over-aggressive, risk-taking gambling part of it? No. Throw it to the left. Do I want to be a bit more cautious and meticulous? Yes. Take that to the right. Do I want to be sticking to the fundamentals and the patterns that work? The shorten into spikes with a history of failed spikes? The gapping cracks, those two patterns, shorten into resistance, those three patterns, shorten afternoon fades on stocks with a history of failing? Yes. Put all of those to the right. Do I want to be having a bad habit because I work too much? No. Put that to the left. Do I want to be drinking and being hungover and not using my time as resourcefully as I could? No. 31 days sober. Put the 31 days sober to the right. Dry January. Put the previous string and Stephen to the left. It's time to rebuild. Rebuild, motherfucker. Because for me, I know I can make that $1,700 back and have a fifth green month. So, comment rebuild. Let's grind mean. Let's be mean. Let's keep it clean. Let's go for green and live the fucking dream. I'll see you later. We'll see you later.